Alright everyone, I've done 2 of the 8 parts and I'm going to let you guys take a look. So, crazy focus there. This is the side I've done the 2 parts on. Okay? Now, you got to be careful of this. I didn't catch this right away. The top one's 33, the bottom one's 32. I could tell in the directions that I had something wrong because the photos weren't matching what I was doing. And it took me a few minutes to realize what I was doing wrong. Top 33, bottom 32. Now, if you look at this side's without the photo etch. And I think the photo etch looks a lot better than the detail that's currently on the kit. Okay? I'm having to bend that photo etch, and this isn't your typical paragraphics bending. You better have a photo etch bending tool if you're doing this, of some sort or another. I got this one off eBay for like $10, and it's a pretty good one. It did come with razor blades for bending with. Okay? Those razor blades don't really have to be sharp. They just have to be able to get underneath the photo etch so you can bend it. Alright? We're going to go ahead and get on the other 2. Now, when I bend these, they're not a full 90-degree bend, and you have to keep that in mind while you're bending them. I didn't do full 90 degrees. I eyeballed it, and I came out perfect both times. So just a word of warning there. I'm going to go ahead and remove the detail on these 2, get my 2 parts lined up, and get them on here. So another 33 and 32. Okay? So I'm cruising on this tonight. That didn't take long. Removing the details just like I showed you in the last segment where I was removing detail. I'm just slowly shaving it off with my blade. Alright? So there you go. I'll be back with an update in a little bit. Okay, word of warning. The directions say part 30. Oh, no, they don't. The directions are correct. You need to pay attention to the directions, and I didn't. It says this is 32, this is 30. Me make sure. Top is 33, 32, then 32, then 33. They alternate on opposite sides. Let's point that out where you guys can see it. Okay? Right here is 33. This is 32. You come over here, that's 33, and that's 32. I'm not used to the camera angle. One more time. 32, 33, 32, 33. They alternate as you go around. Make sure you dry fit before you glue. You'll know if you're putting them in the right spot pretty quickly. Okay? Yeah, you will. You'll know really quickly if you're putting them in the right spot. Alright? I have got most of the photo etch done on the front of this thing. That's a happy thought. There are 3 more pieces that go on the front of this thing. 4 or 5. 5 more pieces that go on the front of this thing, and it's all photo etched up. Okay? That's happiness. Now, let me go ahead and put the 32 and 33s on the back panel. Just letting you know, make sure you pay attention to the directions on how these go. Okay? Because they don't, it's not 33s on the top and 32s on the bottom. They alternate. And you'll know it as soon as you try to stick them on. They don't go on correctly. Alright? Just thought I'd stop and drop a picture. Yeah, I'm dropping it. Alright, everyone. Let me get that crazy zoom on this thing. I got the back side done with my 2 parts. I felt like the directions had them backwards again, but, you know, just test fit. You'll get it. Okay? I had a hard time with the directions at the beginning of this thing, and, well, as I get going on it, I'm feeling better about it. But again, just test fit before you glue. And the parts only go one way, and you'll know it when you put them on there. Okay? This is the end of day 5. I am quitting for the night because I got a long day tomorrow. Oh, my nice pink red glasses there. Yeah. I got a long day tomorrow, so you guys will... I don't know how much I'm going to be building tomorrow. Simply because it's our last day. Everything must be packed because the movers are coming Thursday morning early. So that's going to be the priority. Once everything's packed, I can come up here and build some. So this is the end of day 5. I may be here tomorrow or not, but regardless, when I come back, it'll be day 6. So I'll see you guys then. Alright, this is a new day, but I'm not counting it on the build log, simply because this is a very quick day. I've only got like 5 minutes to work on this model with today. First off, I pulled my cast out. This is what it looks like. Okay, the inside is great, the color's bad in my opinion, and it's too thin. That's way too dark, it's too ruby. I don't want ruby, I want red, okay? And if I put it up to light, yeah, it's too ruby. And again, it's too thin in the center, so I'm gonna have to redo that mold, and I gotta thicken it up in the center. I'm gonna try that tonight. I've already sprayed the mold with mold release, and we're gonna try it again. Okay? Other thing, part of the photo etch, I couldn't figure out what the heck it was for. A friend of mine was looking through this book and found it. Right there is a photo of a TIE fighter cockpit. And that right there is that photo etch part. I couldn't figure out what it was for. And I got it right now, and I know exactly what it is because I can see it here. Okay? The little handle's going off, everything is there in the photo etch. I knew where it was supposed to go, but I didn't know what it looked like. So this book just paid for itself. Anyone curious what it is? It's Star Wars 365 Days. Creating the World of Star Wars 365 Days. Okay? There isn't a whole lot about TIE fighters in here. That's the disappointing part. Not a lot, but it does show the interior cockpit and what it was supposed to look like. It shows the reactor cover in the background behind the fighter pilot. It shows that there's some yellow. I knew there were yellow lights on it. Well, now I know where the yellow lights are. So that's all good. And again, that's all we got for TIE fighters. And this entire book is that one page. There's a page of X-Wings too, and a page of Y-Wings. And there's a really good shot of an X-Wing cockpit here, in here too. Right there. Okay? And none of that detail is in the fine mold skit. None. Lots of hoses running behind there. So I can duplicate that easily. I have a little device for duplicating that I have to find. Hopefully I didn't pack it away, because my model room's almost empty. I've just kept back the supplies I know I would need. Okay? So anyhow, I'm going to mix up a little bit of resin. I got to get to bed. Movers are coming at 8 a.m. and it's almost midnight right now. So I'm doing this and getting out. So I will talk to you guys later. Hello everyone. Still not counting this as a day yet. If I get some time to sit down and actually do some work, I'll count it as a day. So we're kind of in a holding pattern right now. Movers came today and emptied out, I'd say, about 70% of our possessions. My model room is now this desk and the spray booth. Everything else is gone. The model stash, everything. Just my supplies are here. Okay. Brock Curie Cruiser's still with me. Anyhow, it's not done. I know it looks done, but it's not. I'm waiting on some decals to come because I screwed up the decals. And the guy at J-Bot Decals is printing some new ones for me and sending them to me. And he's got a 2-week period, waiting period on that. Anyhow, what we're here for is to talk about resin casting part 2. Here is the second round of resin casting. Okay? The cast is still coming out really good. There's no problem there. It's very clean. The inside of this is perfect. The outside, not so much. But, you know, once this cures up completely, you hit it with a Dremel and you will have a very usable part. My issue here is color. This was dyed with food coloring. It's the right color as far as I'm concerned. I shine a light through it. If I were to get a white LED from my LED stash and shine it through this, I mean, you can tell the sunlight just shining through it. It's a good color. Food coloring works. See that dirty speckly spot right there? That's where I didn't mix the food color up. But here's my big issue. The thicker the resin, the darker the color. The thinner the resin, the lighter the color. That's going to happen no matter what I do if I use a colored resin. The only way to fix that is to keep the resin a uniform thickness. And this is my first attempt at resin casting, so I'm not going to attempt that right now. I do have the silicone RTV. I could try making a mold with that, but this is going to be a thin, tiny little mold, and I'm not sure I'll get all the air out without it. Vibrating it would work. I'd probably put an ultrasonic thing while the resin's curing, because this has a 24-hour cure time. Probably get the bubbles out that way. I'm just not going to bother with it when this will work. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going with clear, and then I'll paint it red when I'm done. Because I want to use white LEDs because they're brighter. Okay? So you guys know what the routine is now. I'm just looking for the first cast of this thing. Here's my mold. All right, this, gosh, forgot the name of it. Starts with an R. This stuff works really, really good. I know Real Mithril is going to give me a hard time for not remembering this name, because she knows the name of this stuff. She sang a song to it, if it's still up. If it's still up, I'll link it in the bottom of this. Anyhow, this is still holding up really well. That's because this stuff is good at what it does. It's a good molding compound. Let me get at this. I can't find the first run at this. My desk is a mess because I'm moving today. Anything the movers didn't want to bother with got thrown over here. And I got to get all this cleaned up and put away properly anyhow. So I can't find the first trial of it. It's around here someplace. This is definitely the second trial. So, let me get at it. And if I have time to build tonight, I will update you guys on that. Maybe I put it in there with the TIE Fighter parts? No, I did not. Alright, so I'll be back in a bit. Alright everyone, a couple of things, and I'm going to drop the camera while I'm talking. Still the missing white grid lines. They're that way for a couple of reasons. You can see my paper towel is green. I spilled some resin. Lacquer thinner, that's what's in this little bottle right here. It's labeled. I can read the label. It doesn't really show on camera. We'll clean up resin before it cures. That's a nice trick. Well, this resin it will anyhow. It thins it right down. It wipes it right up. The problem is it also takes the surface off. All right, I just looked at something, and I'm going to do this so you guys can see it. There's the resin part I was working with. That's cast number 2. Cast number 1 I can't find. There's a piece of the photo etch. Let me do this quick zoom in. Let's put the photo etch on there. Okay. Now, if I were to take and underlight that, and it's going to give it too much light, for it overwhelms the camera. But you start to see what I'm going for here, because the brass will block the light. Unfortunately, we've got light pouring through everywhere along here, and I'm not going to cut out all the resin. So let's see if I can mitigate this some with an old thermometer. And keep it on frame, granted. But if I can do that, you guys can start, there we go. You see that glow? That's what I'm trying to achieve through that resin. I mean, through that photo etch and the resin. That's what the glow I'm trying to achieve. And I'm pretty sure I can do it now. And that's why I'm making these resin pieces. The resin piece I'm casting right now is clear. We're going to paint it red on the back with some Tamiya clear red paint. And you can see that the photo etch parts fit on here beautifully. Okay? So once I get this done, I get 2 of these cast and cleaned up. I can paint the backs red. I can paint these black and just glue them down in place with something that dries clear. Right on the resin. And this will hold them perfectly. Then I can glue that down inside the TIE Fighter. So I got the interior lighting pretty much figured out. And by the way, the molding compound I'm using is called Oyumaru. I knew I'd remember it sooner or later. It's called Oyumaru. I'm going to look for the first cast of this. It was very maroon, not red. Red food coloring works, but you got to mix it really, really well. And you need to keep a uniform thickness of the resin, and I gave up on that. So let's just paint it red, and that'll get me a uniform color. All right, Talk to you guys in a bit.